Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WPC Ace League. It is Orenda versus VIci Gaming here in a two-game series. Thank you so much for joining us on BTS1. Once again, my name is Maud. With me tonight is Pimp Muckle. How you doing, Pimp?
Considering I had 3 hours of sleep, I'm doing really good. Can't wait to get this thing going.
Yeah, man, I mean, I think we're both running on fumes a little bit here, but that's fine. Anything for Chinese Dota, which, to be honest with you, I haven't watched in quite some time. I think it was last season for the WPC Ace League and the Feng Shuan tournament that I watched. It was the last time I've watched Chinese Dota, other than obviously seeing like DK participate at Star Ladder and IG. But we have a lot of really good games tonight coming up, and some teams really need to win to keep their standings in the WPC Ace League right now. Orenda specifically, they've got to get a victory here, or at least 2 victories to help them out. VG are playing out of their minds as of recently, and I'm a huge fan of their lineup, so we'll see how Orenda plays up against the, I guess, juggernauts of VG.
Yeah, and VG for me is one of those... I mean, they're not that known because they don't have the biggest names. Sylar, obviously everyone knows Sylar and RTK, as well as nowadays everyone also knows the support combination, especially for the super strong early game roaming potential. But VG Gaming, they're not one of those teams which are just going to be heading down to Starland and just win it all. They are really a little bit more quiet, I want to say. But still, those guys, they pack a punch. They're very, very solid. And after the roster changes and adding Sylar as well as just, you know, getting the roles set out, I think they're really, really strong and a close contender for the second place in this Chinese region right after DK, I want to say.
Yeah, and I think they're 1 or 2 decent series away from really just kind of taking the reins from Team DK. Team DK has so much star power and so much potential on it, but VIci Gaming, you could say the same exact thing. And, well, they got invited to the International, and honestly, that's a really big step for them, first and foremost. They'll not really be worrying about the qualifiers too much, whereas Orenda, they will be in those qualifiers. So we'll see if they can get in and perhaps play a little bit unorthodox here and maybe take a couple of victories off some of the, I guess, stronger Chinese teams in that qualifier. But they'll start off with a really, really interesting combo of Darkseer and Jakiro. 2 heroes that they work well together, and Team Dignitas, I guess, most famously used to run this a long time ago, back when these 2 heroes were still really, really strong. You vacuum into the, of course, Ice Path and maybe even while on top of that, but it's interesting they go for these 2 picks early.
Yeah, especially considering those 2 are really not picked up too much. Maybe they're going to be in 6.81. We don't see the draft unfolding too much yet. It is still very stable. The more, I want to say, reliant drafts are still what is usually meant to be played, because those stakes are really high. And if the stakes are high, you do not want to experiment too much, because you want to play in your comfort zone, you know, you want to play the heroes you know. And Jakiro as well as Darkseer, it is great, it is strong, it's the bomb combo everyone loves. Thing is, if you botch it once, you're going to lose a team fight, and that's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, getting even one of those kind of team fights set up is actually rather difficult. Now with Darkseer's vacuum change and how long it's on cooldown for, you don't really have a second try in a big team fight, more likely than not. And for Orenda, it's questionable for them to pick up those 2 heroes first, but maybe they know something we don't, and who knows, we'll see. VIci Gaming, they pick up the Rubik, and God, I am such a fan of FY on that Rubik. He's so damn good. I love to see him play it every single time. I believe it's FY and not Frenro, but I might be wrong about that. I'm almost certain it's FY. But
yeah,
he is impressive on that hero. Just really strong. Yeah, and we'll see if he can get some nice steals here. And I think a solid start for VIci Gaming right now.
Yeah, definitely. What I also like about the support combination of VG, I didn't catch too much in the last few weeks, but from what I remember, they're really active, considering the early game, and as well as... so if they pick a Sand King now, I think it's going to be Fenrir, and on the Sand King I have FY and the Rubik, but if they pick something else, they can shift it around. Like, they are just so versatile and so good on pretty much every support hero there is, so yeah, that's really nice. And also Fenrir is really experienced as well, and that's yeah, you know, it's pretty good. Also Shadow Demon banned, so that's rather interesting. He's not the wombo combo hero, but he would be very stable, especially with the Jakiro. Disruption and Soul Catcher into Nice Path. That hurts.
Yeah, it's a bit of damage you don't want going your way. So a smart ban coming out from VIci Gaming right now, and to be, well, I guess to give you guys heads up, the most played hero for VIci Gaming is in fact the Rubik. Their most wins comes with the Sand King, and I expect to see this a lot now, and it looks like VG already doing it. I was talking about it with some people tonight, but it looks like Sand King is already receiving a first-round ban, and I think that's for a good reason. A very strong hero, really solid, can get that Blink Dagger up early on, and I think he might be more difficult to deal with than some of the other heroes we've seen banned out more often than not. So I think that's a solid ban. Speaking of that ban, though, we've got the Morphling Nyx Assassin for Orenda, and then Tupuk to finish it all off for VIci Gaming. They go for Leshrac. Very interesting. Wow. They really want to land this combo, but there's no setup stun coming out for Orenda just yet.
Yeah, exactly. They are relying on just the vacuum, it looks like. Maybe they're just gonna pick a Sven? I don't know. You know, how are you gonna stun people? Ice Pod is really hard to land considering the cast animation on the Jakiri is ages, essentially, and then you have your split earth follow-up. It's gonna be a lot of damage if you land a combo.
Right.
Maybe they're just gonna go aggro try and hope there's gonna be people in the lane?
I think maybe they go for that. And I also agree, Sven is... It's a doable pickup here. I mean, he's viable now. He's got his base damage increased by 6. He's gotten a lot of armor from the last patch. I think they could go for him here, and VIci Gaming might know this, so they could certainly go with an aggressive tri-lane if that's the case. They could also just go aggro tri-lane with these two heroes anyway, so there's a lot of options for Orenda. The Leshrac and Jakiro, interesting pickups. They'll probably go for the Lightning Storm for Leshrac, I think, instead of the Edict to try to push down towers, but I think it's a little too early to tell because... honestly, we don't really know what heroes they're going to go for. VIci now picked up for VIci Gaming, so they have some damage in a tri-lane of their own. Rubik with Telekinesis will get people out of a bad situation. Obviously, Fade Bolt's really nice to have for that nuke damage, but I don't know. I mean, Orenda, it really comes down to this next pick probably, I think.
Yeah, also, what I really like about the Visage, you can go aggro try if you're Orenda and try to have, like, 2 people and just stun and kill them, and that's nice. But the thing is, if a Visage is shooting laser beams from the backlines, you're still gonna die, because Visage is one of the best try-on-try-liners there is. And Rubik usually is not that great, but the Fate Bot is helping out a lot. And if it hits on 3 targets, you're gonna be looking at like 60 to 70 less damage on the right clicks combined, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And that's actually really nice for the laning phase here. And VIci Gaming, they've got everything going for them right now, but you're right. I mean, this is just shooting, I guess, what you called those lasers at people is going to be difficult to deal with. He was called King of the Tri-Lane for a reason back in Dota 1 days, and he still is very strong. Rubik, obviously, we already talked about a bit. Orenda's pick here, they're already into the reserve time a bit. They're thinking about what they're going to go for. Sven makes the most sense if you really need a stun to set it up. This is one of those old school kind of, I guess, laning combos that you used to see with Leshrac Jakiro, maybe like a carry that has some sort of stun, some sort of disable to go your way. But also you have to keep in mind is the Invoker can participate as well with, if he's Exort, he can go for those Sun Strikes, obviously. He can even come down if he's Quas Wex and start throwing up Tornadoes and being a bit more proactive in the game. And maybe Quas Wex is a bit better this game because of kind of maybe, I guess, the teamfight potential Orenda has. Either way, I think that VIci Gaming are feeling pretty confident right now. Orenda, they've got to have I think, a pretty good pickup here. And they're going to go for the Luna, which is interesting.
I want to say if VIci picks up the Centaur now, this can mean a lot of destruction. If the Centaur gets like a 10 to 12 minute blink, Invoker can go Exort, and you're gonna have the combination that DK used to actually win Starladder with it. Invoker, Global Presence, a lot of pure damage on the Sunstrike, as well as your DK blinking... DK, what am I talking about? The Centaur Warrunner blinking in and just stomping people in the face, double edge down. If you have a Sunstrike, everyone is dead. Even the Darkseer, who's kind of more tanky than most heroes, is still gonna die from it. There's just nothing you can do against this if you don't zone him out too much. And Jakiri is good at zoning out. He's gonna just spam his Liquid Fire as well as Leshrac if he pops one level of the Edict, which you sometimes see. But still, it's in the pool, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see VIci picking it up.
I'm surprised he hasn't been banned out or even really touched as of right now. VIci Gaming, they could go for that Centaur Warwinder. They still need that offlaner, and he fits that mold perfectly. So with 33 seconds left in reserve time right now, VIci Gaming, they've got a lot of options here. They can go for their safe lane farmer. They can go ahead and pick up that offlaner like you talked about. Clockwork is also still available, which might be a good pickup as well. Maybe not against Luna perhaps, or even, I guess, any of these heroes. Cogs are kind of just a shouting point for saying, hey, look over there. That's a split earth target right there. You should kill that as quickly as possible. But I don't know. They've got options. They're using a lot of their reserve time right now. They're really thinking about this, which is no big surprise. They really want, I think, this victory and just kind of to assert their dominance. They're going to go for the Furion right now, which is a standard offlaner, and I think could do well in this lineup if he, well, gets boots first and doesn't get caught out of position, which I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you go boots first, you can always just cut down the creep waves, have your whole creep wave coming at you, and still get a lot of experience from the offlane, which is something obviously not really intended from Orenda, because they don't want to have the Furion with levels. That's just how easy it is. And well, you're gonna have Rubik as well as Visage pulling. Since they are Radiant, this is also really good for them. Like they can just safely go, wow, and it's a Pugna, so it is gonna be very push oriented.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And now it screams like they're gonna be going for Edict here, and they're gonna pick up an anti-mage. They want to farm instead. VIci Gaming, wow, Sylar, he wants to go back to hitting some creeps, if you will, and that'll be, I guess, the last hero for both sides. That's two completely different kind of lineups. I guess you could argue with Nature's Prophet you could be split pushing, but with Orenda, they just want to go right in. Yim will probably pick up some points in glaives. He'll probably get 2 points into Looter Blessing, and then when he gets those glaives up, they might go for some towers here. And with Iron Shell as well, they can cut creep waves down rather quickly, so they do have a lot of pushing potential on their lineup. However, they're a bit squishy when you think about it. Obviously, Darkseer provides a bit of tankiness to himself and his team with a mech if he gets it early on, but VG, solid lineup for them nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sylar, I mean, it all comes back to like tier 2, tier 3 days when back in the LGD days, Anti-Mage versus Naga Siren every game, baby. Those great days. Well, maybe we're gonna see this time around as well in TI4. Don't think so, but well, Anti-Mage with this new AoE on the ultimate is just, it is like what? A whole screen in his radius? It is absolutely crazy.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big for the Anti-Mage, and that's a huge change, and I'm sure one that Sylar is like, yes, finally, I can play this hero. And the blink change not too long ago kind of crippled him a bit, but I guess we'll see how it goes for VIci Gaming and for Orenda, who, like we talked about, they've got this pushing lineup going for them potentially. And we will see for Orenda. Yi on that Darkseer, he's going to the off lane as it starts out right now. 290 going to be on the mid Pugna, so he's going to be mid, and that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch for sure. Defensive tri-lane coming out for them as well. Yim's going to be at the top lane with that Luna. We'll have Black.Z will be on the Jakiro, and ZYF will be on the Leshrac to round it all out for Orenda's lineup.
On the side of VG, we got in the bottom lane, he's gonna be Mr. Farming, his Mr. One himself, the fun ends, it's the Endy Mage. Sylar's gonna be handling this one, supported up by FY on the Rubik, as well as, of course, Fenrir on his, I want to say, signature Visage. Very strong on this one. Super in the mid lane is gonna be handling the Invoker, and of course off lane, Mr. Offlane himself, RTK, with a Scythe of Vice in his hands. Or is it a Scythe of Vice?
It looks kind of like it. I don't think it's the... If it is, it's the auspicious
It's a
one.
nice.
Legendary Scythe, he named it something else, so it looks really cool. That's all you got to say. I mean, ROTK, he's played this hero a lot, so that's a pretty fair pickup for him right now. He went for boots, so no surprise there. They have, I guess, a decent chance to kill him. The thing is, they're, I think, going to be relying a little bit on Lucent Beam to hit those split earths, and I don't know if there's any real way. I guess Dual Breath, though, is also something you have to keep in mind, which is a nice slow. He went for Liquid Fire first, though. You look at the Jakiro right now, he picked up Liquid Fire. They want to be able to push these towers down rather quickly. ZYF, what did he go for? He's holding the point right now. He's going to ward up here in just a second, but if you think about it, the pressure is really on Orenda to either push down all the towers or gank Sylar as often as possible, because if he gets Battle Fury up at like 12 or 13 minutes, he starts getting his treads going as well, it's going to be a problem for them. They're going to have a tough time dealing with him, and he'll just be split pushing and taking towers of his own.
Yeah, the good thing is for Orenda, obviously, Darkseer is really strong against any sort of melee carry. Sylar, when he is low level, he doesn't have any sort of points in the spell shields, or maybe he's got one or something, but that's all there is to it, really. So he's not going to be taking too much damage from the Iron Shell harassment, but still, he's going to get harassed out, and he will be forced to last it on the tower from time to time, and that's really annoying. So he can't spot the perfect CS, which sometimes those safe lane farmers are looking for, but still, you need to wonder, I mean, is it really worth it? And so far, RTK is getting completely bullied out of the lane by Black, but yeah, you mentioned it, like, they don't have killing potential, so he can just safely pull down the wave. He doesn't do it right now because it's, well, it's still gonna be in a good proximity, but now he's gonna do it really soon.
Yeah, he's sending his treants. They're getting into position right now, making sure he actually blocks the camp as well, which is really smart. Doesn't need to ward for that. He can tango up right now. He's got plenty of regen as well. He should be okay, but they really need to land a splitter. They don't have it just yet. The Liquid Fire, though, doing a lot of damage to ROTK. He will back off. He's pretty speedy with those boots of speed. I want to talk about mid, though, because right now we don't really know what Super's going for yet. He picks up a Quas, and he picks up a Blades of Attack, which usually signifies Quas Wex, I believe, to go for those early phase boots, but he might do it differently. I'm not sure. And, I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if you agree.
Yeah, I want to say Quas Wex, if he goes for it, it is... So Exort is once again the way to go, I want to say, but still, if you go Quas Wex against the Wombo combo, and you can actually disrupt in between the vacuum and the ice path or the follow-up on the Leshrac, you're gonna have a one team fight because everyone can just pop the BKBs, Anti-Mage can just blink out, Nature's Prophet, I don't know, just walk out, he shouldn't be caught anyways, and yeah, I think Quas Wex is indeed the way to go, and it looks, yeah, he actually picks this one up. So,
yeah, so there it is. Quas Wex, he'll have the Tornado, he'll have EMP. It's really good against Pugna as well, just make sure he doesn't have that mana to go for him and throats what have you. So, I don't know, Pugna's done it right, though. 290's not doing too poorly here in this lane right now. He's sitting on 10 last hits. He's actually out last hitting that of Super right now, who, well, when you think about it, Quas doesn't give you that much in terms of damage, if anything. I mean, you need the Exhort to really get there, and he went for the Blades of Attack, no Null Talisman or anything like that, so... FY does pick up a DD rune. He's going to rotate around. He might throw up a sentry. He has a smoke on him as well. He might go for something, but it looks like maybe not. 290. I don't know when the timing is for them to push, but get a couple levels on these supports. They don't have a smoke, I don't think. And even if they did, oh, they do actually. The Jakiro has one, but Oh.
Really careful to not lose the Darkseid in the bottom lane. He was completely out of mana. He's still level 1, and that's excellent support play from Fenrir as well as FY.
Dire's top tower
Well,
is
just
under
zoning out the
attack.
Darkseid completely is really good. Obviously, the Darkseid is always going to find a few CS here and there, but so far he wasn't too lucky. Excellent play. Einshell was being denied most likely, so yeah.
Yeah, he's actually heading home already, which is interesting because I guess he doesn't have any mana, so he can't really stay in lane. And he had plenty of health just to try to leech experience, but Fenrir and FY are making it really hard for him to do so. And he might head to the jungle. I don't know if he can do it now. He'll pick up some more regen. He's got a stout shield as well. He'll head to the jungle, it looks like, and that means that he'll try to get back up to level 2 or 3. ROTK pulled the creep wave, and very nicely done. He'll be able to see us under his tower. Looking at the Luna, she's sitting at 18 last hits, not too far behind Sylar, who's sitting at 19 right now. So both carries free farming. Sylar already picking up that Ring of Health early on here, no surprise with that. And I guess just a little bit more farming here as we move into the roughly 3.5 minute mark of this game.
Yeah, the question is now, does Sylar want to go for treads into Battle Fury, for Battle Fury and no boots, or what is your preference actually here?
I like to see at least boots done first. I can understand going for treads and I can understand not going for treads, but boots of speed, just in case you might be getting ganked or you want to move a little bit quicker between camps when you have that Battle Fury. It really depends on the situation that he's facing right now, and he's not under pressure too much in his own lane, but maybe a little bit later he will be, and treads allows him to fight and get a couple of kills as well. So already, though, coming top, you can see this pressure coming in from the Liquid Fire. Edict is going to go. It's level 2 right now. He does have, of course, the Trance here, which will tank up a bit of that damage. So they're not quite pushing it down just yet. They'll forward it up as well. And I think that was really well played from VG right now. In the bottom lane, they're thinking about maybe pushing this out a bit. Coming through with a dive. Telekinesis on Yi right now. They'll right-click him down here. He's got enough mana to surge. Soul Assumption, not enough. Blink forward. Look at this dive. Sylar picks up first blood because of it, however. Well played. He'll salve up as well, and that is a lot of gold going for an anti-mage you don't want to give up.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, in the
is
meanwhile,
under
top
attack.
lane, we've got RTK. He was getting stunned up, but it's just a lucid beam. It's not the best setup for any sort of follow-up, but they are going to be getting a
Radiant's top
tier 1
tower is
regardless. So both teams
Dire's
looking
bottom
really good
tower
in their
is
safe
under
lanes.
Radiant's
One thing though,
top
and
tower has
I saw
fallen.
someone mention it in chat, like Orenda, you can really make a point for the Dire offlane right now. If we would have seen a Darkseid on the Radiant side, this would have been a completely different story.
Yeah.
And that is really surprising, I want to say.
That's absolutely true. Having that camp to pull from on the Radiant side is a Darkseer. Oh, but they're going to go on Yi again. They're going to look right on top of him. Telekinesis. He's going to get stunned up there. They're going to try to bring him down. He's got no more surge left. He's only level 1 surge. He'll eat his way out, but no. Sylar picks up the kill. 1,000 gold in the bank right now. Easy pickets for him, but all the while, top lane, they're going for a tier 2. We've seen teams sack tier 2 towers in this lane before, and I'm not sure how much VG really want to keep this alive.
Yeah, the thing is, if you give up a tier 2 this early in the game, this means so much money on the super. Shakira is already up on like 900
Lane.
gold.
290 got brought down with the Soul Assumption. Easy kill for Super there. And yeah, nice kill coming out for the mid laner for the side of VIci
Radiant's
Gaming.
top tower is under
Maybe because
attack.
Shakira just hang out. There you go. Heads back to the base. And still, tier 2 is getting pushed in.
Yeah, it looks like they don't mind. I'm surprised. And the Treants are doing a nice job of tanking up a little bit of the damage and pushing out the wave. Super might come up here. He doesn't have Tornado for a bit. He just uses EMP as well, so he'll have to wait until that's off cooldown, but he can go again here in a second. I'm not sure. He's kind of roaming around. He's going to eat his way through, and he has his Cold Snap ready to go as well. They might try to find a pick-off, but it's 2 versus 3 in this engagement. We'll see if Super wants to fight, if they can get a TP rotation. They see him there. They spotted him out. They're going to back off now, it looks like, and say, listen, we don't want to push when we know that the Invoker's right nearby, but now maybe they'll rotate mid here as FY looking for a potential telekinesis on 290. It looks like they're going to try to go for it here. There it goes, the EMP as well. The Soul Assumption's about to fly. That'll pick up the kill for Fenrir. And they are getting a couple kills for VG right now.
This is especially very important on the level sides. Rubik with his level 6 is gonna steal a lot of good spells, and especially against the Jakiro, you're always gonna have a great time, because those cast animations from the Jakiro just don't... I mean, Rubik is just gonna cast
Dire's
instantly
bottom
anyways. He's got
tower
great,
is under attack.
great cast points. And also VIci. Fenrir is a master of his global map presence with his familiars.
Yeah.
So, really smart decision here from VG to just lane all those supports in the mid lane. And meanwhile, the
Dire's
Invoker can just
bottom
do
tower
some
is
work
under
on the
attack.
sidelines. And, well, maybe not. He's just heading back to base and is looking for some... What is it?
He's got
Bracer,
a Bracer
Sage's Mask.
and a Sage's Mask. Interesting. That'll be
Drum
a Basilius, maybe? I'm not sure. He's
Dire's
keeping it for now. Could turn into a
structures are
Yules
fortified.
eventually, which wouldn't be a bad idea, but He might just have a casual, I guess, Sage's Mask there. But yeah, and while that was all happening, Siler's getting free farm as well. And you talked about the supports getting levels. They're out leveling the other team by quite a wide margin. I mean, if we look at the experience graph, it's already 4,000 for VG. And despite losing a tower top and almost a second one as well, they don't seem to be really in any rush. They know that they have the late game advantage with Siler more than likely. I mean, yes, you can have a Luna go late and carry pretty hard, but the damage that's going to be coming out from Orenda at this point in time is very minimal because we talked about it. He's getting shut down. He's level 3. He has 1,000 gold in the bank, which is nice. He might pick up a Soul Ring or his Arcanes or something very soon, but he's still not getting much. Whereas top lane, they're looking for a gank here. ROTK is in. They've smoked up as well. They're going to initiate with the Tornado. EMP is going to fly as well. Yim's going to back off. That delay is just barely long enough for them to all miss that EMP mana burn coming through. Ice Path is going to fly. The Visage Birds are up, ready to go as well. Nature's Wrath is going to push them back. They cannot pick up a kill, but they still will zone everyone out from Orenda.
Yeah, in the meantime, there was still Darkseid doing some shenanigans bottom lane. Double Iron Shell harassment. It's only quote-unquote a level 2 Iron Shell, and still, it is so much that Sylar's completely gone under this tower. And he still gets every last hit there is. Sylar's just that good. But there is going to be an engagement mid lane, most likely. No. Oh man, they have to be really careful. Our OTK is completely out of mana.
They want an Ice Path here. Their Tornado EMP is going to fly. They'll get the Ice Path off. Now 290 getting Cold Snap. He'll fall to the EMP. And, well, the Fade Bolt as well. He stole Ice Path. He getting caught out. Surge forward. Nice Soul Assumption. And the Visage Birds cleaning up right now. 6-0. And an engagement that probably should have went Orenda's way. Turns out, VG, they're just too far ahead in terms of experience, and even maybe in gold right now. They're going to try to take this tower. Ice Path going again and catches out the Jakiro. One more right click will do the job with the Cold Snap for Super to grab that kill. And they are absolutely obliterating Orenda right now, 7-0, and they're going to take their first tower as well, maybe even their second, as Sylar's already taken down bottom.
Yeah, suddenly so much gold in the pocket of Sylar. This is going to be a sub 10 minute Battle Fury. Can just buy it right now, goes on... Well, goes to the Pugna, just bullies him out of the lane, and that's all there is to it, really. And also, he went for a lot of stats early on, and this just enables him to fight if anyone just shows his face in the lane. And that's so good, especially when you're facing this Iron Shell harassment. It's already annoying, but if you have a little bit more stats, you know, you can just sustain yourself a little bit better and have the Ring of Regeneration just do the work for you.
Yeah, and this build is so old too. You talk about it going for stats. It's usually 1-1-1, 2 points of stats, then you get your Mana Void and go from there. This allows you to farm your jungle without having to go treads early on and have to really worry about it. So, yeah, his Battle Fury is done now, and this is the build like I talked about. We've seen since like TI2 and even before that. So, standard anti-mage play coming out for Sylar, no surprise there. His CS is really great. 67 at 10 minutes is a really good benchmark to hit, and obviously getting the first blood as well helped out a lot. So, good start for Sylar. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. If we talk about Yim, though, what's he got going? He's trying to get to that Helm of the Dominator, so that first big farming item, it gets there a bit earlier for Sylar. Not quite there yet for Yim. They're going to smoke up Telekinesis on Zip. He's going to get caught out. The Fade Bolt, the Soul Assumption cleans him up. The Lucid Beam was stolen as well by FY. Ice Path is going to zone them out, and they won't be able to get this kill again unless the Urn takes him down. Will it is the question. He'll try to TP home. Looks like he will make it out in time. Black in the meantime. Soul Assumption is going to fly from Fenrir. TP in on the backside. Sprout is up for ROTK. The Visage Birds are doing work. They will use the Nether Blast. The Life Drain going as well. Black is still alive. The EMP, though, blowing up that squishy Pugna. 10-0 is going to be the score for VG. They have yet to lose a hero in any sort of engagement, and they're rolling right now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Sylar just completely free farming. Still, like, there is no one which can just do anything against him, and now he's just cutting up creep waves. He doesn't care about anyone just farming there. He knows there's a possibility of like 4 people. Oh, that's a nice stun here. Are they gonna get the kill? No, Sylar just blinks out.
Oh, Ice Path just the tip. No, it does hit. Will they get this kill? He's alone right now. EMP is going to fly. Sylar's going to blink away again just in time. EMP zoning them out. Visage Familiar stun. ZYF has no mana. There's the Cold Snap coming in on Pugna. He'll fall once more. They were that close to getting their first kill, man, and they just couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's really a shame. And, well, you got a bit of anti-push, but you don't have the best anti-pushing lineup. The only good thing about getting pushed with your combination is that the Darkseer is going to be having a great time with his vacuums. Problem is, level 6 Darkseer, level 1 vacuum, this has no AoE to speak of.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, and they banked on this with the first pickup with Yi on that Darkseer, and it's really just not worked out. They haven't hit any combos, and like you talked about with the level 1 vacuum, it's kind of hard, so... I expect this to keep going VG's way unless something drastic happens for Orenda. They've got to have a huge fight. Clips is probably going to be part of it. We've seen Nether Blast do work for this Pugna, but not nearly enough. Now, Tornado EMP's going to fly through. It's going to hit on the Luna. It gets Lucent Beamed as well. And FY with the spell steals has been doing work, but it's really just been VG as a whole have been absolutely dominating this game. Now, Siler's going to try to turn on ZYF. Split Earth. It's going to miss. Nice dodge there. Ice Path coming through. Mana Void, not enough. The right click, it is. Siler's going to blink away. The rest of the team coming in. They're coming in hot right now, looking for another kill, but I don't know if they'll be able to fight this. They could just easily dive a tier 2 tower now. I don't think they will, but oh boy.
Dire's top
Yeah,
tower
also
is
super going
under
for the
attack.
Agent 00 super build here. He's gonna have his Orchid up ready to go,
yes.
and if you require Vex Invoker, this is so amazing.
bottom
And
tower
especially
is
when you have
under
the levels,
attack.
you can just head down with a Ghost Walk in the jungle, Orchid anyone coming there, and then you're gonna kill him. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And this is what, when we saw the Sage's Mask, that was what it was used for, and I
Dire's
completely forgot
bottom
about that
tower
Orchid build,
has
but
fallen.
it's so very popular right now. And Super is, well, he's actually almost got it at 13 minutes in, and he hasn't really been CSing. He's been more participating in kills. He still has 44, which is pretty good with what he's been
Dire's
doing this
top
game,
tower
but
is under attack.
now it really just comes down to ROTK, just, I guess, playing solid Dota until they can, I guess, push out all the outer towers and get Siler more farm. And this is a game where if you're Orenda, maybe you
Dire's
think
top tower
about
has
tapping out and
fallen.
trying to get into the next game, but obviously they'll probably keep fighting into the end here and try to get something going with a huge team fight. They have a smoke up, but they might not find anyone. Siler is the only one in the jungle, and he's got to go back and regen. So this smoke might just be a waste of time. They could try to go for this tier 1 tower, but they'll trade it for a tier 2 if that's the case. Probably, I'd say.
Yeah, this is the best trade, however, which you can actually hope for if you're a render here. You're severely underleveled. We're looking at a 13 for 0 kill score. This is like so much. It is completely unheard of, and well, there goes Sala. He has his power
Dire's
treads,
top
Battle
tower
Fury, as well
is
as the
under
Vladimir's
attack.
offering. Nearly no, he actually got it now, 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
This guy is completely and utterly farmed.
Yeah, his GPM is sitting at
Radiant
573 right now. That's
structures
without all the
are
towers or
fortified.
buildings taken down, and
Dire's top
he's
tower
a
is under
farming
attack.
master. Everyone knows how good Sylar can be when he's put under pressure and he can get some decent CS in a lane. They will take down that tier 1 tower, but they'll trade it probably in the end for that tier 2
Dire's
top,
top
and
tower
that's
has
not
fallen.
really a beneficial trade, considering Sylar is farming all the time still. And they'll TP back home right now. Yim's going to try to get some CS here in this mid lane, and he actually didn't finish up his Helm of the Dom. He'll pick up an Ogre Club, try to get to an early BKB. He
Dire's
can't
top
really decide what his
tower
item
is
choice
under
is
attack.
here. Down bottom, Ziff is
Radiant's
going to throw
bottom
some
tower
damage on
is
this
under
tower as well as
attack.
this creep wave and go for it. But top
Dire's
lane,
structures
this tier
are
3 tower
fortified.
is taking her ass. They don't even care. They just want to go for this.
No,
They don't
that's
care about
right.
the tier 2. Tornado hits up with the EMP as well, and well, that's a dead Jakiro. That's just an easy combo. Eclipse is going to fly. Orchid's up on him. He falls instantaneously. FY grabbing that kill. Anti-Mage gets one down bottom. The wall is up. GG is going to be called in 15 minutes. VIci Gaming with one of the most dominant performances, a perfect game if you will. Other than those towers going down, they did not lose a single hero in that game. Disgusting.
Flawless victory. This is all there is to it. It is a completely crazy performance, and this is just, I want to say, this doesn't surprise me too much because VIci, they're known for being very, very consistent. Even though RTK back in the day was one of those go big or go home guys, he's now just completely and utterly playing his game, you know, just staying in the top lane, getting a lot of XP, getting a bit of farm as well. And he was doing some really good creep cutting as well as just defending a bit of his towers. Yes, I mean, of course, the tier 1 just fell in like, what, 3 minutes in? But what can you do against a Liquid Fire and a Lashrak? It's just how it is.
Yeah, it's just too much to deal with right now for Orenda. They'll tap out. They'll move into game number 2. It's a 2-game series, mind you. They need to get maybe a victory to at least make them feel a little bit more comfortable in this group stage right now. And we'll see if they can get something going for themselves. Once again, thanks for joining us, guys. My name is Mott. With me is Pimp Muckle. We'll take a quick break here on BTS and move into game number 2. Stick around, guys.